Hey everybody, Warren here, and welcome to week 2 to class. Um, I got my scenery up here, which is a rainstorm, and I got that because if you notice, it's really dark in the background here. I'm doing this in the middle afternoon, but we have this severe weather here we've been having the last few days, so I just thought it was appropriate. So there you go, there's your scenery. We're going into week 2. Dun, dun, dun. Let me get over here. Okay, so as we go into week 2, but first, oh yeah, let me do my little bit of motivation here. So to be inspired is great. To inspire is incredible. And I always try to inspire you and everything. But the other thing I wanted to point out to you is uh, part of what you do is also inspiration. Because um, depending on your own perspective about doing college and going to school, you may or may not feel like it's something special. I mean, it is something significant in your life, and whether you realize it or not, you are also an example. Now, you may not feel like one sometimes because you're struggling or, other issues going on, but, you definitely are. And so that's, part of my, point this week is, what you're doing in school right now. It's a lifestyle. And so you train like there's no finish line. So I've used that, before. But, point being is, um, yeah, you need to stay inspired, stay focused, but also realize that you are also an inspiration to somebody you may not even realize. So that positive attitude that, hey, I can do it and I'm going to do it. And I'm not giving up or letting all these distractors, bother me and interfere with what I'm doing. You just need to make sure you're staying focused on that because you never know who you might have an influence on. Um, I had somebody on Facebook a couple of years ago, from way back, who, we finally met up back on Facebook, and, he sent me a little note about what an inspiration I'd been to him, and I had no clue, but, still, and over the years, I'm a little older than some of you, but, there's been people who've mentioned things like that. So that's why, I just bring this up because, you too can be an inspiration to somebody, and you need to stay positive so that you do inspire somebody to go in the right direction versus the wrong direction. You don't want to be the person that caused somebody to decide not to go to school or not to pursue something because you didn't. So just stay focused, and you'll get there. So, alrighty. Um, okay, so last week, week 1, real good on the discussions. Homeworks I've seen so far, good. If there's an issue in the homework, I'm sending it back to you. And a couple of you have been in touch with me already. We've talked, so we'll just keep going at that. This upcoming week, you got 2 chapters. That's 19 and 20. 1920 has to do with cost behavior, volume process analysis. Cost behavior, variable, fixed, mixed, contribution margins, things like that. So just to add a little bit of from my personal thing back when I was doing pizza stores, um, you need to notice if you're going to run a business, be it your own or for somebody else, you need to know this stuff. The reason being is, you're going to have to do it. You have to know how to identify things. This here is kind of a break-even spreadsheet uh, here. So on the left, you have all the different categories. So like we're covering this week in chapter 19, you have variable cost. So you got different categories there of what falls into variable cost. You got the contribution margin. Down here you got fixed cost. So you got different things that are fixed that don't change. And then you got like what's called break even. So you got different, and then down here you got more, the fixed cost. So this is kind of how things will look on a break even or a budget sheet, or you can also like have if you have one store, one unit, or more than one, you can break things down in different percentages and so forth. So yeah, I just sharing that with you because that's why it's important to understand this stuff. I mean, yeah, it may be complicated, but even if you're running a simple business, um, you're gonna have to keep track of it. You're gonna have to have a accounting software or something to keep track, be it through the accountant or through your own, and then you use the accountant later. But you gotta keep track of this stuff, And I think there's a course the school has with QuickBooks. That's a good software. That's what I used to use. That was back, like 10, 15 years ago. So, but anyway, so that's that one. And the other chapter is here we go. variable cost, management. So again, it has the same thing, understanding the variable cost and so forth. So okay, so enough on that. Let me see what else we got this week. All right, so you got your discussion. So keep doing what you're doing. Those that are in there doing it, and you got your homework. Now the homeworks are just pretty much the same. You got, you'll have problems and exercises on the chapters we're dealing, those Excel sheets. Make sure, most of the information that goes into those Excel sheets is coming out of the text itself, and then you have to, calculate. You do the calculating. So, and don't forget, you got your drop-down menu here, and you also got your the asterisks. If you got some, if you put something in that's wrong, it'll whoops. Yeah, this one ain't doing it because I ain't got it filled in yet. Okay, but anyway, so there you go on that. Otherwise, I think we are good to go. I think I've covered everything, or real short here. So this week you got two things. So you got the homework, and you also have this little assessment. So which is your quizzes. So okay, so you're all good there. Any questions, get in touch. I know some, if you're having any difficulties on these spreadsheets, let me know. And otherwise, I'll give you my test question. My test question this week is, what did I do to this picture with my grandkids? I learned about this new little app out there. It's called Prisma. If anybody's curious of how I did this. But anyway, just let me know what I did there. And with that, I'll let you all go. Have a great week. Get in touch if you need anything. Take care.